Linda Barcz from the Bruce Company taking your calls, 270-9933. That's an exotic looking thing there.
Isn't that pretty? That's a cobalt gay feather. Some people know it as liatris. The nice thing about it is it blooms for a long time because the flowers open up down the stem.
That's a perennial.
It is. That one is a perennial, yes. And that is one that obviously will come back year after year. It's pretty little grass-like foliage after it gets done flowering. Down front, I actually have a selection of different kinds of salvias, because the salvias come in all different colors, red and purple.
I just thought they were red.
No, and actually this is a salvia too with the soft pink-white combination.
Very pretty.
Yeah, those
are annuals.
Those are annuals, summer blooming, yes.
All right, let's get to the calls. We'll start with John in Fitchburg. Hi, John.
Hi, we have two mandavillas, and one, the leaves are nice and green and a lot of flowers. The other one has a lot of flowers, but the leaves are turning brown and falling off. Okay. And they're both in a sunlit room, one in the southwest corner and the other in the southeast.
Oh, and you have them inside?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, that must be a very nice sunny room. Usually, I'm familiar with moving them outside during the summer, but I would check the one that has browning leaves. They are very prone to spider mites, and especially indoors, that might be a problem. So take that sheet of white paper and knock on the leaves and see if tiny little specks the size of pepper drop off onto that paper. And if you rub your hand, there'll be sort of reddish streaks left behind. Then I would take it outside and spray it for spider mites if you find that.
Spray with what?
Well, there is a really good product called neem oil that works well. It is not an insect, so you can't use an insecticide. You need something specifically for mite control.
All right. Didn't know that. Go to Deborah now in Madison. Hi, Deborah.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi, which question?
Linda, I have a huge hibiscus bush in my front yard, and it's getting huge. Do I have to cut that down, or can I cut that back after it gets done blooming?
After it gets done blooming, you can prune it at that time. That's actually quite a good time to do it. If you're going to take out whole stems, you may want to wait till next spring, and then take out whole areas right down to the ground, sort of like you would treat, things like red twig dogwood or lilac. Or because at that time it's overwintered. If we have a hard winter, then the new growth comes from the root system.
Okay, sounds good. Let's go to Mary now in Mount Horeb. Hi, Mary.
Hello.
Hello, Mary. Well, she wants to know how to get rid of thistles.
Thistles? Okay, thistles are sort of a tough perennial plant to get rid of, but spraying with I assume that this is something that is in the grass. In the grass, you have to use a selective broadleaf herbicide. So that means you can't use things like Roundup, because that's a contact killer. So if you have it in your plant beds and it's isolated, or you can use a piece of box or something so you don't spray your desirable plants, then you could use thistle on it.
All right.
And stay on it, because if it's Canadian, it'll come back.
Really?
Yes, it's a tough weed.
All right, Carolyn in Fitchburg. Hi, what's your question?
Hi, I have a magnolia tree, but it's a bush instead. I want it to be a tree. Can I trim this up, or should I just leave it as a bush?
Okay, well, Carolyn, see, the trick with those magnolias is that when they start out, many times they're multi-stemmed.
Okay.
And if you want to try to prune it so that you have one main leader, one trunk,
right,
you're going to have to see whether you have something logically located.
Correct.
So if you do, then you can remove the adjacent branches and just
have one
rely
grow.
on that. Yes, and then slowly, as it gets more vegetation up to the top, then you can start taking off branches on the stem. So that's why usually you select either a tree form or a shrub form to begin with.
Okay, but they do come in trees.
Yes, you can, and then all that work is done by a nursery.
All right, Jim in Monroe Point, go ahead with your question.
I was just wondering when the best time to trim honeysuckles, bridal wreaths, and lilacs.
Okay.
They're kind of crowding out the hostas.
They're crowding out the hostas. If there are branches that are messing with the hostas, because they're obviously a lower growing perennial, you can certainly take off stems now. There isn't any kind of disease or issue that would prohibit you doing that. But if you're going to do severe pruning on them, I usually suggest on those three to wait till early spring to take whole huge stems out if you're going to do the entire shrub. If you're just taking off a side or that, you can do that pruning now.
Boy, it's tough. The hostas can't make it. That's got to be thick.
Oh, yes, and the trick is we're finally going to have some nice weather to work outside. No rain, cooler, perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're out of time. If you're on the line, stay there. Linda will talk to you off the air. We'll see you next week.